Good morning, everyone. Good morning from frozen and snowy Pacific Northwest Vancouver, Bellingham area. We are full of snow, and it'll probably last a whole week. And but it's cold. It is well below freezing. It's minus 5 degrees Celsius here, so it's probably around 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold. So how is the weather in your part of the world? Let's see who's here. Hi, Alice and Tammy and Barbara. Hi, Debbie. I see Colorado. That's a cold place for us anyway. Floresville, Texas. How is the weather there? 13 and clear. Wow, in Wisconsin. That's cold too. Cold there in Karen. Sunny and warm today for Debbie. Yes. And Wisconsin, Southern California, rainy for the next 3 days. You've needed the rain. All those fires were so horrible. From the Chiefs Kingdom, Kansas City. All right, Mickey. And Jen from New Jersey, 29. Sue. Hi, Sue. You're on time today. Good morning. Tammy, we are in the 80s. Oh, you always make me so jealous. That nice warm weather. That's what we crave in the winter here, because I look out, there's snow, but the roads are clear. It's cold, and we hope that snow goes away very, very, very soon. Tika has more snow than I do because I'm right on the coast, right on the water, and she's more inland, so she has it a lot colder. From a cold Istanbul. What do you mean by cold, Mahatrem? It's cold for you might not be as cold as cold for us. So I'm just want to get an idea. You can give it to me in Celsius, and we'll take it from there. So how is everyone else? I'm seeing more comments coming in. That is fabulous. I'm just waiting for a few more people to arrive. A lot of people have been watching the replay, which is great. That is always on that same page. Long Island, New York. Fabulous. Hi, Ledley. Nice to see you here. It's a little snowy. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know. Well, yeah, I guess it's sort of in that same parallel where you get the snow and the change of the weather. That's fabulous. Hello from Mississippi. All right, just a couple more seconds and we'll get going. I have 8:03 on my clock, and we've been live for almost 4 minutes. So I'm just going to give one more second or two because we have a lot to cover today. And I know this is called card folds, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So I know many of you already make cards, and I have that special gift at the end, but I'm not going to give you the link to it until the end. I just printed my copy out, and this one is called Elegant Folds. And this is what you're going to get at the end. It's, I think it's about 10 or 12 pages long, and it has all kinds of different cards and things. You're the first people to get this. This is a new release for us, and it's going to be part and parcel to it. All right, now I'm going to start going through some of the stuff we're going to go through today. So let me just pull up my PowerPoint here. Oh, hi, Melinda. I'm glad to see you. I hope everything worked out for you, Melinda, that you got into everything. You were able to see what you needed to inside the membership hub. So I just wanted to double check. Just let me know in the chat and we'll take care of that. Okay. Foggy start to our morning. Diana, wow. And from Kentucky, Sheila. Oh, amazing. All right. Make sure that you have been in at least one of these places. We have our Facebook group. We quite often post a lot of stuff in there. And of course, YouTube is where a lot of this stuff gets posted. The replays get posted, but we put the links to that on the webinar page. So all you need to do is go to our site and then pick the ones you want to watch, putting it in a nice, concise manner. We have them all the way back from last September, that we've been doing these webinars since last September, and we're having a lot of fun with them. We do have a Pinterest page. I am not as active as I need to be, but we'll try and get a little better there. We are also on Instagram, and of course our blog is betsmakes.com, and Tika has set up our Ko-fi, so if you haven't been there, take a look at that. All right, so let's get started. I hope you're going to be able to stay to the end. As I mentioned before, you're going to get a copy of this Elegant Cards. It's a book. It has 10 different cards that you can fold at the end. And it's time for you to load up Design Space, because we're going to do some very simple things to start, and then we are going to work into the more complex. So if those are brand new to the webinar, if you can just put a little yes in the comments that if you're brand new. And Jean Bab from Kentucky, good morning from Florida's Space Coast. Oh, fantastic. All right. So if you don't know us, there's a few new people here. This is fantastic. I love having new people on here. So my name is Dr. Bette, and I'm a partner with my daughter, Tika. And you see Tika at the beginning, and you'll see her from time to time, and she'll make some comments. Tika is the CEO of our company, and she is the creative mind behind it all. I'm the tech person in behind, because I was a university professor. I did corporate training, all of that in the technology field. So I've also been a high school teacher, and Tika, of course, an artist and professional multi-crafter. So you are in good hands when you come here. So we've developed hundreds of training programs, even written more than a dozen books. Tika writes a lot of fiction and fantasy, where I'm more on the technical side, but that's enough about us. Because our goal here is to take you from what you know now into creating and imagining your own projects. And that's the biggest thing with Cricut Design Space and the Cricut, because a lot of people, you just download templates and make. Well, that's not the whole plan here. I want you to be able to take that knowledge and start using Design Space so you can start creating your own things. And that is the fun part about everything. So just make sure this is right for you. I will not be insulted if you decide to leave because you're not learning anything or you don't have time to work on the crafts anyway. You just wanted to see what was going on. So don't feel bad if you have to leave. We always post the replays if you need to get back to everything that we're doing. So here we are. This is a quick overview of what is ahead. Today, of course, is card folding. We've done dingbats and simple gifts. Today is all about card folding. On February 12th, that's next week, we are doing debossing techniques, which means embossing and debossing techniques using Design Space and using your Cricut. On March 5th, we are doing some perforations, and I'm going to show you how to do perforations without the perf tool and how you can do it quite easily for yourself. I added an extra webinar on March 12th that hasn't been publicized yet, and I'm going to take a look at recycle and upcycle, which means using cereal boxes and pieces of plastic and old envelopes and all kinds of things that we're going to do for recycle and upcycle, and how you can use your creative mind to start creating some new stuff that way, and actually cutting a lot of them on your Cricut as well. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And then on March 26th, we're going to take a look at color palettes and a lot more using Color Sync and all kinds of different things. So that is just for this quarter. And then, of course, we have a lot more coming up in April, May, and June, and then the summer, and then the fall again. So we have tons and tons and tons of stuff coming up. I just really love having each and every one of you here. So that is what is happening. We are doing card folding today. So is everybody ready? I'm just looking for more comments to see. Oh, Ruth, you made it. Fantastic. And Doris, else? Allison, Hello from a rather chilly, oh, Kelowna. Yeah, I heard it was pretty cold up there. It looked like minus 20 Celsius when I was watching the news last night. That is really cold. And who else? Jean, I've already mentioned, from Kentucky. And we have a couple of new people here, and we're going to start advertising out so we get more people in here. We have 44 right now, so that's a fair number. So I just want to make sure, sound check, make sure everybody can hear me. You don't need to see me because I talk with my hands and they're flying around, and it'll distract from everything that you are going to learn today. So any questions? Ready to go from Gig Harbor. Ooh, fantastic. So you've got the snow too. All right, everybody is ready. All right, let us go over to Design Space now, and we are going to start playing around with card folds. So we're just going to start a new project. I just want to make sure you can see everything on the screen here. Everything looks perfectly good. Now, we have broken things down into like simple cards and intermediate cards and, of course, other cards. I'll just show you right now what the agenda today is. Of course, is simple card folds. I'm going to take a look at one or two of them and just easy ways to do it, and then move into some intermediate things where we're going to add on from that simple card fold. And then taking a look at some advanced folds where you can really start playing and having a lot of fun with it. So that is just what's going to happen today. And let's see, down to my Design Space. I got to get Cricut Design Space up on my screen. There we go. Yes, we have it. So let's start with some very simple card folds. Everybody knows how to do a card fold. Well, what I want to show you, of course, is working with squares and other things. I'm going to start off with a square shape. And let me just close this for now. And I'm just going to bring in a score line, and I'm just going to shut this. That's just so I have some room to work. I'll just leave these two on the screen. Now, we work with squares, and what I'm going to suggest to you when you're designing your own stuff, work with numbers that are easy to divide, because you can always make it bigger later. Everything is proportionate, so it doesn't really make any difference. You can change the size of it later. So I like to work with a nice big piece to start, and then I can shrink it down to what I need. First things first, let's not play with a black color. Let's play with a nice other color. And then I'm going to come up to my size up the top here. And let's make the width 12, because 12 is easy to work with for the numbers. And I'm going to go 6 down. And that gives me a nice thing to work with, so I can start working with different parts and pieces. Now we're going to use this and our score line quite a bit as we go through. Now, a very simple card, we know we need this, and I'm just going to make a copy of it because I want a little extra one sitting over here, and I'm going to take my main page and I'm just going to make a little copy, and I'm just going to scoot them slightly off the screen. All right, we have one beautiful little card that we're going to start with. Now, this is so simple because we know that it's 6 inches deep. We're going to be playing a lot with sizing. And of course, all I want to do is take those two together, come up to a line and center, and you'll see that this card piece is on top. So if you don't see it, send it to the back. You have a nice, simple little card. All you need to do is take it from here and attach it, and you have a simple card fold. So I'm just going to put simple 1 here. Just simple. I'm just going to call this a plain card. And that's just so I can see it. Now I'm just going to, now we've done one of these. So easy, so easy. Now, if I want to now take this card and do some different things with it, such as change the size, because everything is centered and I've attached it, it may not work as well as you want. You can detach it to do this, but I prefer to leave it attached. I'm just going to unlock it. Now we know 11.5 is as wide as we can go, but I like even numbers, so I'm going to make this a 10-inch, and then I'm going to make it a 10 by 4. And now I have a card that size. I can play around with the sizing here, so maybe I'll make it 5, make it a little deeper. Everything works. I can lock it into place, and now I have a card that I can play with. So you take your basic design that's fairly large, and then you can shrink it and make it bigger or smaller, or whatever it is. That score line is going to stay in the middle. You have attached it. You could group it and do the same thing. So easy, so easy. So that is the great thing to do. Now, when you're doing a simple card that is a one fold, you can do other things with it, such as you can cut holes in it and you can show through the other side. If you are going to do that, you likely want a liner. So all you need to do is just take the Alt key and make a copy of it. And this will be the outside. Now what I want to do here is maybe cut some holes in it. Let's maybe Valentine's is coming up here, so let's just grab a heart or two and let's cut some holes just like this. I'm going to take the 2 hearts together like this, and then I am going to come here to combine and weld them. Now this is going to be a little more difficult because I have attached the card behind. So I'm going to click on the card behind. I'm going to detach it for now. And then I'm going to grab these 2 pieces together and I'm going to hit a slice. Now I can get rid of my 2 hearts here, just delete them and delete the next one. Now this has gone to the front, so I'm going to arrange it and send it to the back, and there is our line again. So let me just grab this together. Once again, I want to attach it just so I don't lose anything. Now I'm going to change the color of the inside. Now it says multiple, so I'm going to go on my layers panel and just pick on the square itself. And I'm going to change that color. Let's make it a light purple. Perfect. And then I'm going to back away from this and let's grab this one. And what happened to our thing here? There it is. It went our score line up there. It decided it was going to move it, but that's fine. We know how to take care of that. I grab my score line here. I don't know what it did with it. All right. Let me go back a few steps here. Let me just shut this. There we go. I don't know, it lost my whole thing. That is not nice. There we go. Now I found it. Okay, I just wanted to change the color of this one. That was the whole idea. Okay, I'm going to move this one. Okay, that slice worked from there? It looks like we have the basic cut results. Sorry about that. We have this wonderful thing. I'm just going over to the layers panel and I'm just going to move up that line above it. See if I can bring that down below it. There we have our score line. Down here we have our basic cut. I'm going to change that color to a purple. Oh, watch this one over here. Not nice. Okay, we have a purple card over there. All right, it's because I didn't drop down the arrow. That is my fault. Let's go down here to purple. There we go. Now I didn't have to unattach it because it's still within here. And of course that is the one that's going to go in behind. So when you cut both pieces out, you're going to get a nice design. So that is a very simple way of doing things. Now you can do all kinds of different things with these. I lost my, okay. So this plain simple card. And we've got the one, it's because it's not attached anymore. Okay, so it detached itself. I'll just move it out of the way. Lots of fun. Now there's other things that you can do with these as well. And I know we're still on a simple card. I'm going to grab a shape again. And what I want to do is I'm going to make like what I call a little edge on it, where I can put some different things. So let me just grab a heart again. Remember, this is a simple card. You can do this with any shape. I am going to now cut out some hearts off the side. I'm going to start by grabbing this one up here, or I can come right to the edge. And you can cut these out over the edge and then add the heart back in later. Now I just want to show you a couple of things. I'm just going to get it up over the edge. Hold my Alt key down so you can put in a few of these coming down. And this just gives you a little trim. As you can see, we can add those things in. Let me grab all three of those and let's come up here to align and distribute vertical. That makes them even. Now what you want to do, if you want to keep these hearts like this, you can weld them into the card and then you have an extra edge that hangs out. The other way is you could cut them out. It wouldn't look that great cut out, but you can weld these to the edge. Now I'm going to have to take my simple card fold. Is it this one? Yes, I'm going to have to detach this to do this one. What I want to do is just grab those together and I'm going to combine here and I'm going to weld them together. And then as you can see, you could probably cut out shiny hearts on the outside and add those. Now I'm taking a look at my weld result here. I'm just going to move it below the score line. So that is a very simple way of course, taking a look at some of these plain cards we've been working with. So any questions on this very first plain card? There's just a couple of ways to play with them. Switch to YouTube so I can watch it on my TV. Fantastic. Okay, bit late. We're just doing the simple card fold right now, Tiffany. We're going to go into more of a intermediate, another little simple intermediate style one. I want to look at doing something like a gatefold so that you understand what's going on there. No, I'm just going to take these and maybe I'll just keep the bottom one here because it's plain. All right, let me just get rid of these two at the top and I'm just going to delete them so I'm not messed up. I still have my copies down here that I can work with. Now, what else can we do with this? Well, we can do different things. Remember that this is shrunk up and we can change the size. I just want to review. We can add things to the side. We can add a backing. We can cut holes. So maybe I'm not going to keep this one. I want to come back to the original one we had. And this is the 12-inch one. And I'm going to take another copy of it. Because what we want to do now, of course, is take a copy of our score line. And yes, I could go get it, but in actuality, when I open that up, I have very little room to work with. Now, remember I said when you're doing things, if you have a 12-inch piece and you want to make a gatefold card, you are dividing it up into 3 pieces, but not evenly. You're actually dividing it into 4 pieces, with 2 of the outside being the gatefold. So let's start by taking our score line here, and we're going to change that to 6 inches, just so we have the right one, and we are going to arrange it and bring it to the front, just so I can see it. Now, as you can see, I can put this right in the middle, I can center it, but it is not that easy to do that this way. So I'm going to take my big piece of card here, and I'm going to start using position. So I'm going to go 1, tab 1, so I get it up in the corner here. As you can see, it is centered around 1 and 1. I'm going to take this score line now because we know we need 2 score lines. Now, if we're dividing this into 4, so you have 3 inches that you are concerned about. So you want one at the 3-inch mark and one at the 9-inch mark for a gatefold. And it is in the book that I'm giving you a little later as well. So we know we need to take this score line and put it at the 3-inch mark of the card, plus 1 here. So this is going to go at the 4-inch line here. And we know the Y is at 1, so it's in a perfect position. Now we're going to move over to the 9-inch. So I'm just going to take a copy of this. There we go. And I want it, it'll be at the 10 because we're adding an inch. Now let's just see if I got that quite. Oh, I got it close. 10 and 1. And now we have a simple gatefold card because we don't need anything in the middle. So that is a simple gatefold card, and it's all based on your measurements. So let me just group this. I want to attach it right now. So remember, when you're starting to put things in oddball places that aren't perfectly centered, you want to move your object to the 1 and 1. And why do I leave this space here? Well, sometimes I need to have things that poke out or different things that'll happen. Now, when you take this card, of course, you get the beautiful gatefold that goes into the center, making it really easy to do. And then you can do the same type of decorations that happen when, of course, you can cut things out, have a backing that goes in, you can add sliders, you can add buckles, you can add anything else. So for example, if I wanted this to be a buckle, you would want it coming off this side. So let me just grab a little shape here and show you a couple of things that you can do. I'm just going to use a little, let's see, what do I want? I'll use this shape. It's pretty big. But I can take this now and I can take it and center it up and down. So we're going to align and we want to center it horizontally. So get it in the middle. That's not what I wanted to do. I meant vertically. I'm so sorry. So I need this outside edge. Okay, align, center vertically, up and down, not into the middle. So we know that that is going to fold over to the other side. Let me just take this over, and we're at the 1 inch mark. So we have a 1 inch fold over that is going to go. So when you shut your gate card, it's going to come on top of the other side. Now what I can do, because I just grouped this, is I can take this one and of course the one that's on top, shift click, I've got the two of them. I can combine and I can weld them or I can unite them. So if you decide that you want to go back and forth, you don't want this permanent, you can simply unite it and it becomes one piece. And of course I have to arrange it and send it to the back so I can see my score lines. So now I have a little buckle that will go across on this. Let me just make sure this is all grouped up. It is not, so I am going to group it, make sure it's in one place so I can now move it around. So that gives you a little extra that you can add on. And with gatefold cards, that's perfect because on the other side, you can plan on putting a little slit for this to fit into, or you can just simply have it shut in that direction. So that is something a little extra that you can do with it. So any questions on what you can do with this gatefold card? Now remember, when you're shutting it, is coming across on this side. So you can decide how far in you want the slit, if that's what you want to do with it. Let me put this back to 1 and 1. Tab 1. So I want this to go into a slit. All right, I need a line to do that. So let me just grab a shape. Let me just grab our, of course, score line here. And I am going to change that from score to basic cut. Now I'm going to measure how wide I want that slit. So that's not too bad. I can make it a little better. So I can push this slit to anywhere I want, but I have to make sure it's centered. Of course, this time I'm going to do it right. We're going to line it vertically so it goes into the middle. And now that's part of my card as well. Now I have a slit for this piece to go in. Make it look so easy. Yes, it usually does all the time. You may have to rewatch this. The big key here is to make sure that this slit is big enough for this to fit into, but it's not too far back. So if I made it too far in, it's not going to fit. So you'll have to adjust it and just play with it a little bit. I would suggest going in about 1/2 inch. So I have to go back here to my group and basic cut. Where did my line go? Oh, there it is. It's right here. Okay, so I may just want to move it over a little bit so it's approximately 1/2 inch. and then it'll cut a slit. If I like it a little bigger so it's easy to fit in, I've made them small and it makes it really tough to get in there. So now I can go ahead with this. I'm going to attach it so nothing falls apart. Now I have a gatefold card with a little tab, and when you shut it, it will fit inside there and stay closed. Now you can add things to this. I'm not going to go through how to add it. I just want you to be able to make your own folds when you go through. All right, so that's a gatefold and a simple card. Now I want to take the basic ideas. If you want to make a pop-up style card, I'm just going to hide this off the screen. And I've used up my other, I lost my other score line. So let me go grab that. All right. Any questions on those two? I love this instead of having a belly band. Yeah, sometimes it's just easy. I like belly bands, but not always. It depends on the paper I'm using. If I'm using a lot of the digital papers that I'm working with, of course, I like the belly band because I get a contrasting one that matches. Sometimes when we do belly bands, it's hard to match things up, but with a digital paper kit, of course, you can match it up so easily. But having a little tab like that makes it so simple. So any other questions? Do you ever name your layers in the panel? Absolutely, I always do, but I haven't been here right now. And this one just says square. And this one, I'm just going to call it gatefold with tab, just so I know what it is, even though it's hidden. And I'm just going to move it below this so I have my square to work with. We are going to, of course, now go up the next level. What we want to do is make a simple pop-up card. Now you're going, oh, this looks a little harder to do. And it's not, because I'm going to call it a tunnel card. And when I call it a tunnel card, you're not going to feel that you're popping something out. Now, what I want to do with a tunnel card, how many of you have ever heard of a tunnel card? Just want to see, just put a yes if you have and a no if you haven't, because I want to know if you have ever made a tunnel card. No. Okay. Lots of no's. So we're going to learn something new here today. I'm just going to take a drink, just 1 second. All right, I wanted this card to be fairly complicated, just to keep your attention, but it's not that complicated. What I want to do, let me see. I think what I'll do is something a little different here. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Those are my originals. Just get them out of the way here. I'm going to go back to our gatefold card. And a tunnel card is going to do something that's similar to a gatefold with the 3 different things that are on here. So we're going to go through the process of adding our score lines again. And then we're going to be working on using another one down the middle when we get to it. So let me just close that again, just to give you an idea. We want this one back to the 12" by 6, and it is. And I'm going to move it into position here of 1 and 1. I'm going to take my score line down here. And of course, with this score line, I need it 6 inches. And we're going to use 3 of them. So we're going to start with the first one, same process as we did from, of course, the gatefold when we put these in. We want this one at the 4" and 1. So let's go 4, tab 1. And then we want, of course, the one at the 10" mark. Oh, supposed to move. You're supposed to duplicate. Maybe I'll duplicate on my layers panel. Let me just select it here. There we go. I'm going to duplicate it this way. It doesn't want to drag for me. And we need one more. All right. So I'm going to take this last one here. We want that one at the 10 and 1. So let's make this 10 and 1. And now we want one in the middle. And of course, that's going to be at the 7-inch mark because it's 3, 1, 2, 3. We're at the 7-inch mark here. So let's go 7 and 1. And now we have the start of what we're going to do for a tunnel card. Now you may say, why do we need 3 of these? Well, right now, let me just group them so I don't mess up. I do mess up on occasion. You've probably been on a lot of my lives. All right, so I have the first part. I'm going to make a copy of this because I'm going to use a copy. We may need another copy after that. So in this particular card, we are going to be, of course, in the front. You are going to have it pop back up towards you, and the back will be in behind. So we want something that we can put in the center here. So let me just grab a shape here. I think I would like, maybe an oval. Yeah, let me just do an oval for now. And I'm going to take this oval and play with it because we are going to be making it a little wider. Let me unlock it. Now we're going to do several layers of this in behind. So I just want to make sure that that is pretty centered. Let me go across here and do my align center. Now it's pretty small. Let me grab that oval. All right, I like the shape of it, so I'm going to lock it. I don't like the dimensions not being even, so I'm going to make this 4 tab and 4.5. There we go. I'm going to lock that into place. I love working with the numbers that work for us. Now that's fairly large. Let me try a 4.5 here. Is that too big? Probably not. Now, this is the first thing that's going to happen here. I've got one large circle. Let me just change the color a bit here so we can see what we're playing with. Now, I'm going to make another one of these, but I'm going to make it ½ inch is pretty big, maybe a ¼ inch smaller. So I'm just going to make a copy of it. For some reason, they like to go in behind. I'm going to make this 4.25. And I'm going to change the color. Let's make it a little darker. And then I'm going to have to bring it to the front. That's ¼ inch is okay. Yeah, okay, that'll work. I'm just thinking here. I'm doing this all on the fly. So let's grab one more. Let's make it a darker color. And I'll just bring it down here. And what I want here is probably, I'm going to go 3.75 here. And I'm going to bring it to the front. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now you may be wondering what I'm doing with all these different stacks here. And of course, I'm making the tunnel with the first parts. Now, you may be wondering why I have the score line in the back on this one. Well, I actually don't need it on this one, but I do need it on this one. So let's take this first card here. Let's take this group. And we have that score line. We have the one in the middle. And I am actually going to delete that one in the middle. Perfect. Now I'm going to make 3 different copies of this. And that's going to give us a look into a tunnel. Sort of looks like a spinner card. Yes, it does. So first things first, let's take these off of here. And I want to make a couple more copies of this. So I'm going to take 1 and 2. Just move them off to the side. I'm going to grab this one right now. Now I've got to arrange it, send it to the back. It's so annoying having it. Now let's just make sure that that is all centered here. I think it is. Just don't want to move anything. Okay, let me grab this group. And then let's grab this, the shift. Do I have them both? Yes. Okay, I'm going to align and center just to make sure. Yep, it did move a little bit. Perfect. Let me just move this group up so I'm closer to it. This one right here. Let's move this one down into the group. There we go. Now I'm going to now ungroup this because I only want 2 of these pieces. So let me take this group, and what we want to do is arrange it and bring it to the front. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to work at the top and not try to figure out what's going inside the layers panel. All right, I'm going to ungroup this. So I have the line and the oval. So what I want to do is just simply grab these 2, and I'm going to slice them. Now I can get rid of this big circle and this one. And now I have one hole in here. Let's grab this and put it below my score lines. Perfect. So now I want to take this, of course, and this time I'm going to attach it, and I'm just going to call this outer tunnel. And that's the top part of the card. Now I'm going to do a couple more of these. Let me just grab this one down here. What you're going to do is play around with the next one. And of course, I'm going to move that group to the top, bring it to the front up here. Just easier to work with. And I'm going to take my next circle in here, and I've got to arrange and bring that to the front. And then I want to just take this whole thing, and I, of course, want to be able to center that, align and then center. And that's just so I don't mess up with different things. Now, we're into a group here. So what I want to do is I'm just going to bring my square up for the 2 pieces here. Grab those 2. And I am going to, I didn't grab both of them. Okay, so let's grab both of those pieces. There we go. It's got, oh, it grabbed the group too. So let me just grab them from here. Sorry, I'm thinking and crafting at the same time. I'm going to slice this. I'm going to take out the middle pieces. And then I'm going to take this slice, put it in the group below my score lines. Now I have them together. Now I have this one on top. So let's change this color to something slightly different. And let's make it just a little darker. And I want to take this one and arrange and bring it to the front. I just want to see how things are going. And as you can see, that's going to fit on there beautifully. You have a different color underneath. Now you can do a few different things with it. We will have the backing in there in a moment. So we've got this one and this one. Now I'm going to take my final one here. I'm going to move that group to the front. And I'm going to grab my little oval here, and I will put it right here. I shouldn't have done that right away. Let me take my little oval here. Let me take it out of the group for a second, just so I can move it into place. All right, I want to take the square. I'm going to move it out with the oval now. So I have the square and the oval. And of course, I want to align center. I want to make sure it's perfect. Keep those 2, slice it, get rid of those things in the middle. And then I'm going to change the color of that one. I've done dark purple, so I'll just go even darker, I guess, or I can do a different color altogether. What goes with that? We'll make it yellow. And put it below your score lines in the group, just so it stays together. Now this is going to be arranged this time, and forward back. It looks like it is in the back. So let's grab our other two pieces. Nope, this one's got to go to the front. And this one's got to go one layer up. So bring forward. There we go. Grab all three of those. And of course, I'm going to align center. So this is a tunnel looking in. And remember, you've got the two folds on the side. Now I have this one that goes in the very back. And let me just grab that group over here in the layers panel. Oh. I want it to go down here. There we go. There's the color in behind. And this is the one that's going to go in behind. So this is a little bit different. All right, so this is the backing. Let me make it a different color here. Oh, not exactly what I like. Oh, just a minute. Because I changed the color, I wanted the group to move together. There we go. Now the backing is going to go out and these two front pieces will come up. So when you do the fold, you have this beautiful little tunnel. And of course, in behind here, you can put all kinds of decorations. So you are looking in. Now you can play around with this. This is a little more complicated. I did put it in the book for you so that you can get the measurements and work with it. And it has an example. And now, I guess I should have left the folds in the middle for the other one. So we can put the fold back in the middle for the score line. Not to worry, I should have left it there, but I didn't. So on these three layers, and I apologize, these three layers, you want to add your middle score line again. So I'll just take this one out of the way. Let's start with this one. We're going to position 1 and 1. Now you may wonder why I took it out. Well, it's a lot easier to slice without that middle score line. Now I'm going to take one of the score lines here. No, I'm not. Let's go back. Okay, outer tunnel. Why do things move around on me all the time? I want to take one of these score lines and I want to duplicate it. There we go. Now I want this to go in the middle, so I know it's at 7 and 1. So let's just go over to X here at 7 and 1. Now you may be wondering, if it goes down the middle of where you sliced it, it doesn't matter because you're going to get rid of the thing in the middle anyway. So let me just grab all of this together. I'm going to attach it. And then I'm just going to call this back layer. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other two. So just grab this and grab this and put it to 1 and 1. And of course, I want to have another score line. So let me just grab any score line here. And I'm just going to duplicate it. And I am going to go and put it into place up here. So let me go over here. Let me just grab this. I'm just grabbing anything at this point. So we know the X is at 7 and the Y is at 1. So we have another one that's in place. I'm going to attach it and I'm just going to call this middle layer. And of course, now we want to work on our top layer. And we want 1 and 1. And let's see, let's just duplicate one that's already in here. It's a lot easier. And we want this at 7 and 1. And of course, this is our outer layer, and I'm going to attach that, and we'll call this top layer. And of course, we have the back here. I have a score line in here, and it's up to you whether you want to put that score line in or not. Now, let's just see if everything will fit into place here. Let's grab it all. Let's go to align and align center. Perfect. Now, we do have a score line on the back one, and it's up to you because the front one is going to come up. You can push the back one out. You can leave the back one out of place. Now, I know this one's a little more complex, but it does give you 3 different cutouts here that become a tunnel looking into what you have placed on that back layer. Now, the score line on the back one will fold backwards when you open the card, and the 3 in the front will fold out towards you. So it looks like a tunnel looking into your design. Now, I know it's a little complex book. Yes, at the end of the webinar, we have the little book that will come through. Now, any questions? I'm trying to stay within time today. So what we did today, we did a simple card. We did a single fold in the middle, and we added some decorations and things to do when we were playing around with it, and we added different things. I think I have a card here where I did one. It's just a simple one, and of course it has some stars on it, and I added a gold piece in the middle, and that's just a simple card, easy enough to do. And then we worked on a gatefold card. Now, I'm not sure if I have one behind me or not. Usually I do, but today I do not have a gatefold behind me. I have other folds back here. But a gatefold into the center, we added a little buckle that goes into the middle, lots of fun. And then, of course, a tunnel card, which is a lot of fun to put together. And, of course, you are going to want to go back and take a look at the replay on this one because it's a little complex. And of course, when I have my little oopsies, we have to go back sometimes. But I'd rather do this live and show some of the problems that you could come up with. I could do it smoothly for you ahead of time, take out all the errors, but that does not help you become a designer on your own. All right, so let's take a look here. We did card folding today. I hope you're going to be able to start creating some things of your own. So if you go into our Facebook group, post some of the ones that you have created just based on this webinar and things that you've been doing. We really want to know what you're doing with what we're teaching you because we want you to become the designer. We can design the templates all you want, but I can show you how to make those templates, and that's a big difference. So next week, we're going into debossing and, of course, some embossing techniques. We're going to be using our Cricut and getting in there and working our machine a little hard in order to get some of the designs in there. We can take things like our scoring tool and work some of the designs as well, so you get different layers and different things. So we're going to be playing with that on March 5th. Of course, we're going into some perforations and doing it without having the tool. So using your Maker or Explorer or, other tools that you can use for it. March 12th, our brand new one that we've just decided to put up is on recycle and upcycle materials. And then, of course, March 26th, we're going to be working with color palettes, and color sync, and how to get everything all coordinated the way you like it. This is especially wonderful when you hit print then cut. Then you've got the proper colors going together and what matches and what does not. So we'll have, of course, some wonderful little giveaways for everybody on those ones as well. So I just want to make sure that everyone here has their digital kits. That is one that comes out every month. February just came out, and you'll see lots of keys and different cards that we make. And I'm not too sure if I have that card up here. I usually do, but I hid it because I think somebody borrowed it. And I don't have it anymore. Okay, somebody borrowed it. And then, of course, in March, we have that one coming up March 1st. So if you get this one today, I do believe, is January still up, Tika, for another couple of days, or is it gone?
January is still up for another 2 days.
2 days. Okay, so if you get your digital kits today, it's $19 a year, by the way. So it's less than $2 a month. You get one of these kits every month. But if you join today or tomorrow, you will still be able to get the January kit and the February kit. So you'll get one bonus kit when you go through and get your digital kit today. So if you don't have one, grab them. We are looking at a price increase in April. So I would like to get everybody on board way ahead of time before that price goes up. Too many irons in the fire. I'll catch up later. Maybe I'll have a few minutes now. You're going to miss out on the giveaway, which is next. So Linda, just hold on. This is the something for you. And this is all to do with what we did today. This is called Elegant Cards. And I have printed mine out here. And of course, that last one we worked on is inside here as well. So there's one of the ones we worked on with the, can you see that? There is the tunnel card, all the directions how to do it. Now it is giving you the hand directions in this one. So you can either use it on the Cricut or you can do it by hand. Yes, Karen, we give away a resource every single webinar, a different one. So you grab it now. It's for everybody. So it's betsmakes.com/elegant-cards. And then you will just download this book. And it has 10 different cards in it. All the step-by-step is inside. It's actually a fun little book that you can put together. So I hope you enjoy that. So any questions? Make sure you get the giveaway. I don't think there is anything else. I am looking at, we've got about 2 minutes left. So any questions? The replay is always on the same page we send you to join this event. I think it's called /webinar. Tika, can you fill me in?
Replays are always in YouTube under the live tab. So if you need to catch the YouTube, you just go to our YouTube channel, click on the live tab, and it will be listed in there.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the previous one here. I just want to make sure everybody grabs their digital kits. If you don't have it, it's only $19 a year, and it's every single month you get one. So grab yours while you can, and have a super week. Now it's the middle of the week, and hopefully we have a nice thaw coming up here in the Pacific Northwest, and be able to get out there and enjoy the weather. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you next week, February 12th. We will be back here, and we will be working on embossing and debossing. So thank you, everyone. We will see you next week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.